Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, and today I've got another exciting laptop review. So I'm reviewing these laptops primarily for students for back to school 2019, but this particular laptop that I'm going to talk about today, it's also useful for home use for general folks. So this laptop is around $800 mark. You can buy this laptop right now on Amazon for just under $800. So this is a 2-in-1 convertible laptop, and the reason I want to review a 2-in-1 convertible laptop is that I believe that in 2019 that's the form factor which is most suitable for students and also for general use in home. So the laptop that I'm talking about is Acer Spin 3 laptop. This is a very versatile laptop. It's great for students. It's also going to be very useful for somebody who is not a student, say for home usage, for casual web surfing, or if you're doing something little more involved. This laptop has all the horsepower that you would need to accomplish any task that you are thinking of doing. Some of these convertible laptops tend to be very heavy because of the way the hinge is designed, because it has to flip 360 degrees, so sometimes it ends up being heavy, but not this one. This is around 3.75 pounds and it's only 0.78 inches. So the form factor is perfect, whether you are using it in a laptop mode or whether you flip it around and use it in a tablet mode. So this laptop has a very good quality 360 degree hinge, so that allows the laptop to be used in a traditional laptop mode where you are just using it as a traditional laptop. You flip the screen and it becomes a tablet. You can hold it with both hands. You can chillax in your couch or bed and you can just watch videos on YouTube, Netflix, right? For those kinds of activities, I really love this form factor because you can just put the tablet in your hands, you can lay it on your legs and you can conveniently watch it. In addition to these two modes, there is also a tent mode where you basically flip it and the laptop is in this shape, and that way you can actually show something to somebody sitting across the table from you. So this is very useful if you are having a one-on-one meeting with someone and you want to show something to the other person. And the other useful mode is the display mode. The display mode is basically the laptop mode, just inverted. So instead of the screen facing you, the screen is facing on the other side. I actually find that very useful because with that what I can do is the keyboard gets out of your way and the screen actually comes closer to you. So in a traditional laptop, the screen is away from you, right, and then the keyboard is close to you. But if I am not using the keyboard, if I am just watching something, I can flip it around, bring the screen closer to myself, right? If I am just relaxing in a couch or a bed, and I can use that form factor. So this 2-in-1 laptop brings so many possibilities and I really love the form factor. So this kind of form factor laptop are not going to be very useful if the display is not good. Fortunately, this laptop has a fantastic display. It's a 14-inch LED backlit display. The display is fully multi-touch and it is full HD. So it's 1920 by 1080 resolution. So this is a really crisp laptop, good high pixel per inch density, and whether you are typing something, the texts look very clear. Whether you are reading something, you are browsing the internet, or whether you are watching videos or typing a Word document or a spreadsheet or any kind of activity, your eyes are not going to hurt because the quality of the panel. This is an IPS display and it is LED backlit, so this is like the best you can get. Very nice display. Okay, now let's talk about the raw horsepower that you will get with this laptop. So this laptop comes with an Intel 8th generation Core i7 processor. The specific model number of the processor is Core i7-8565U. This is a Whiskey Lake processor and it was released this year. So this processor is a 4-core and 8-thread processor, which is fantastic. So this is a quad-core system. The processor runs at 1.8 GHz base frequency, but it can turbo boost all the way up to 4.6 GHz. So turbo boost, if you're not familiar, what the Intel processors are capable of doing is that each core of the processor can overclock by itself, and from the base frequency of 1.8 GHz it can almost triple its performance, go all the way up to 4.8 GHz, but within the thermal envelope. So maybe if all the other cores are idle and suddenly you launch an application which requires a lot of compute cycle, so this particular core will overclock itself, go all the way up to 4.8 GHz, get the job done, and then come back again to the base clock. So that gives you a very snappy performance, and this is fantastic chip which you are getting with this laptop. Now let's look at the chart here to see the actual benchmarking of this CPU. So this is the pass mark benchmark for the Core i7-8565U. It gets 8957 CPU mark, which is a fantastic performance. And here is a chart which gives the relative performance of the most common laptop CPUs. and as you can see, this one is sitting at second position. The guy on the top is actually running at a much higher clock, 2.2 gigahertz, and you have to understand, if the base clock is higher, then your laptop will consume more battery, and so unless it's a gaming laptop or unless it's a laptop which you always plug into power supply, it's not very useful. So this laptop, because it gives you a very good battery life and it's giving you a very good performance, so I think this is a fantastic compromise. So this laptop only has a TDP of 15 watt, which means it's not going to get overheated, or it will not, like, the fans won't be running all the time, and you will get a very good battery life. The Acer is actually claiming 12 hours of battery life, but I think they are exaggerating a little bit. In reality, you will get around 8 hours of battery life, and 8 hours in my opinion is good, because it's like the whole work day. So you can basically charge the laptop overnight, and from morning all the way up till say 5 o'clock, you should be able to just keep using the laptop without even charging it. And if you want to charge it, it has a quick charge support, so you can quickly juice it up between your lectures when you get a break. So now let's talk about the graphics performance. This laptop, being a 2-in-1 laptop, it does not come with a discrete graphic cards, and that's not really a negative unless you want a gaming laptop. And to be honest with you, if you want a gaming laptop, then you shouldn't be looking at this particular laptop. But the Intel integrated graphics, the UHD 620, is a very good chip, and it will give you full hardware accelerated desktop. And so everything that you do, whether it's your Office suite, Microsoft Outlook, your any other application that you are running, including all the video playback, your Netflix, YouTube, whatever codec you are running, H.264, H.265, HEVC, the Google VP9 codec, all these codecs are hardware accelerated. So if you don't know what hardware acceleration is, it basically means that when the video is played back, it's entirely decoded by the GPU, which means your CPU will not be bogged down when you are playing a video. So your video will play without any jitter, without any stutter, very smooth playback, and simultaneously you can launch some other app and go and do something else, because CPU is basically sitting idle. So CPU still has all the horsepower to do whatever you demand from it, while the GPU takes care of your video playback. So this is a fantastic multimedia consumption laptop. Another great thing about this laptop, and I really love this, it's the stylus. So all these 2-in-1 laptops these days, they support the multi-touch screen, and you can actually write on the on the screen. This one comes with a stylus, which is an active stylus. So if you are not familiar with this, there are two kinds of stylus. One is a passive stylus, which you can buy for $5-10 for your phone, and you may have tried it. Those are the ones which have a thick head, right, a rubber head kind of thing. They are not very accurate, and they are good for giving it to your child who is like doing some coloring or something. But if you actually want to write something, write equations or doodle or draw something which is more accurate, you need a stylus which is more accurate. So think of something like an iPad pencil, and these styluses are active stylus. They actually need a battery. So the stylus that comes with this laptop is an active stylus. It is rechargeable stylus, and it has a nice slot where you can, once you are done using the stylus, you can just put the stylus back in its slot. So it's kind of like your Samsung Galaxy Note phones, which come with the S Pen, and you can just put the S Pen back in the phone. It's similar, and I really love that. The stylus, once you put it inside, it charges by itself, so your stylus will never really run out of battery, because you will be charging it every time you put it back in its slot. So since I'm talking about students, and that's the target audience that I am focusing in this video, I think the stylus is going to be really useful for you guys, because you can jot down notes when your professor is giving a lecture, anything complicated which you cannot type, for example say an equation or maybe some chart or some drawing which the professor has made. You can very quickly just jot it down, and it will save it digitally, and you can then archive it with your notes. And this is fantastic for students who like typing their lectures and they want to supplement it with the diagrams and equations, and save everything in the laptop. It is going to be perfect. So one thing to note is that Windows 10 has come a far way when it comes to support for stylus. So Microsoft actually has a protocol or an API for Windows. It's called Microsoft Pen Protocol, MPP, and any active stylus which supports this protocol is going to give you very good user experience. When you are writing something, you will not have that long lag which you experience in some of the older old school stylus. This one, it feels as if you are just writing. When you write something on the surface, you will not feel like your writing is delayed, and so that kind of, it's a jarring effect. It's difficult to describe, but I think you know what I'm talking about. If you have ever tried a stylus on a cheap Android laptop or something, you would have experienced it, where you write something, but whatever you write lags by a few milliseconds, and it kind of gives a kind of a jarring feeling. It doesn't feel natural when you are scribbling something or writing something. So any active stylus which supports Microsoft Microsoft's MPP protocol is going to perform very well. So if you have tried a stylus on a Surface laptop, the Microsoft flagship laptop, you would know what I'm talking about. So it's a really nice stylus experience, and for students I think this is fantastic. In fact, I will go as far and say that in the year 2019, if you want to buy a laptop and if you are a student, you should not consider a laptop which does not support active stylus and which does not have a 2-in-1 mode, because really it does not make sense now. These laptops are so nice. The form factor allows you to use them in traditional laptop mode, in tablet mode, you can take notes. It's like the options are limitless. Okay, now coming back to the screen, this laptop has very thin bezels, so it doesn't look like those old school MacBooks which look like they are from ancient history. So the bezels are only 0.38 inches, which is a very good screen to body ratio. It's around 78.9% screen to body ratio, which is really high for a laptop. And why is that important? It's important because it means that your 14-inch screen size that you are getting it on a body which is not much bigger than 14-inch, right? So it's not like a laptop which is physically 16-inch diagonal, but then the screen is only 14-inch, which is usually what happens with an old school or a little older laptops, because they used to have a thick bezel all around, right? Here that's not the case. So your laptop is relatively smaller in size, which means you can easily carry it in your backpack. You can grab it in your hand and you walk around between your classes, and it's not going to be cumbersome, but you are still getting a reasonable respectable 14-inch display, which I think is perfect, right? Anything smaller than 14-inch I think makes it difficult if you want to use it for typing or if you want to use it for reading documents. It's okay if you want to just watch movies, but this laptop is meant for more than just multimedia consumption. So 14-inch is a perfect size, and the laptop, because it has only 0.38-inch bezels, I think this is fantastic. Now when it comes to the quality of the LED LCD panel, it's very good. The brightness is very high, so if you are outside, between breaks, you are just hanging out, you can still pull out this laptop and use it outdoors, and you will be able to see the screen very clearly, no problems. The brightness is pretty good. Okay, now let's talk about the port connectivity. So that's really important in your laptop. So unlike say Apple MacBook, I always bring those because I bring them as a negative example, right? You had that one MacBook which had just one USB Type-C port, right? So you have to buy dongles to connect your peripheral devices, and who is going to walk around with dongles in between their lectures? Now this laptop doesn't have the best port connectivity. I have seen better options from other laptops, because the ports that they are offering, there are only two USB ports. One is the USB 3.1 and the other one is the old school USB 2.0. Unfortunately, you are not getting any USB Type-C port, and I think that's a shame. That's a bummer. That's one negative about this laptop, is that the ports, I'm not very impressed by the port that they are offering. So two USB ports, these are your old school ports, right? The ones you see for your mouse or keyboard or anything like that. One is the faster USB 3.1, the other one is the old school USB 2.0. No USB Type-C. Fortunately, you do get a SD card slot, SD card reader, so you can take the SD card directly from your phone and put it in the laptop, and you can transfer pictures and videos. So that's nice. You don't need a dongle for that. Also, there is an HDMI port, so that means you can connect it to your monitor or even potentially your television if you want to, which is nice. And last but not the least, it has a headphone mic jack, and it's kind of funny that you have to now explicitly mention this, but with the way the industry is going, a lot of these phone manufacturers have already started removing the headphone jack, and in the laptops also you would probably start seeing this. I've already seen Apple removing the headphone jack from iPads, and the latest Samsung tablet is also removing the headphone jack. It's a shame, because I think headphone jacks are really nice ports. So fortunately, you do get your headphone jack. Now note that you have Bluetooth 5.0 support in this, which is the latest Bluetooth standard, and the Bluetooth 5.0 actually allows you to connect multiple devices at the same time. So in theory, you can connect two headphones to this laptop. I'm not sure why you would do that, but if you want, you can. Okay, now let's talk about the Wi-Fi connectivity. This laptop supports the latest wireless AC standard, and it is dual band support. So you have both the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz band support. The dual band support is very useful, because say if you are in home and you have a router which supports both the bands, and one of the band is getting clogged because you have too many devices connected to that particular band, say 2.4 gigahertz. Every device is running on that, and that's causing congestion in your wireless internet traffic. You can connect this laptop on the 5 gigahertz band and you can have a good Wi-Fi performance. Now I want to talk about some entertainment stuff. So you are done with your classes, you get back to your dorm or your home, and now you want to relax, you want to watch YouTube, you want to watch Netflix. And for those, first thing that is important is the screen. And the screen, like I said, is very good, full HD resolution, very bright, so no complaints there. Because it's 2-in-1, you can fold the laptop and grab it in your hand in a comfortable position, so that's great. The third thing is the speaker. How good are the speakers? So this laptop really surprised me, because a lot of these laptops, a lot of these 2-in-1 laptops, the speakers are not good. The audio is like very tinny and it doesn't sound good, and you have to always use headphones because it's just not that good. This one has dual speakers, so it's a stereo setup, and the speakers are front facing. So instead of firing down, where a lot of these laptops do that the speakers actually fire down, and if you put the laptop on your lap, it just absorbs all the sound and you don't get a very good audio. So in this laptop you have front facing speakers, and the way the speakers are set up, it's actually going to be front facing regardless of whether you are using it in laptop mode or tablet mode, which I think is really brilliant the way they have done it. The speakers are very loud, and they are also very clear, so you don't get any sound deterioration when you increase the loudness, and you don't get that tinny sound. So I'm very impressed with the audio. So that means that you can actually, if you're not disturbing other people around you, you can just watch your multimedia, YouTube, Netflix, whatever you want to watch, just using the speakers. You don't even need your headphones. That's a definite plus. One other thing which may or may not be relevant to you is that the laptop has actually 2 built-in mics instead of 1. And the reason they did this is because they are supporting the Microsoft voice assistant Cortana, which is kind of like Google Assistant, and you can just talk to your laptop and it will respond back. Now, to be honest with you, I never use this feature in my laptop. I love using the Google Assistant on my Android phone, and I think it's useful for a phone, but for a laptop I've never really used it. So I don't know, maybe I'm old school, but if you guys are using this kind of feature, you would be happy to know that this one has 2 dedicated mics, and it helps if you talk to the laptop, and Cortana can respond to you, and you can ask Cortana to do simple things like how's the weather or anything like that, and that's a welcome addition. Now, when I said this is not a gaming laptop, I didn't mean you can't play any game. You can't play the latest hardcore games, but the casual gaming, definitely you can game those titles. Say for example Team Fortress 2 or Rocket League or Farming Simulator 1. These games you will be able to play without any issue. Another important thing when it comes to performance, in addition to your CPU and GPU, is the system RAM and how much memory your laptop has. So this one has a very generous 16 gigabyte of DDR4 RAM, and I think 16 gigabyte is the sweet spot for Windows 10 laptops, because that's enough for you to multitask, switch between applications, and you don't see any stutter or any kind of slowness or any kind of lag that you experience in laptops which are running on say 8 gigabyte of system memory. So 16 is the sweet spot, and I'm very happy that Acer has been very generous with providing 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM in this 2-in-1 laptop. So in addition to RAM, one other thing which makes or breaks the laptop performance is the SSD. So the old school laptops used to have a mechanical spinning hard drive, and they used to be the bottleneck. So even if you have the fastest CPU, GPU, everything, you will still not get the good performance if your hard disk is slow. So this one actually comes with a SSD. So specifically this laptop is coming with a 512 gigabyte of PCI Express NVMe SSD, and this PCI Express NVMe SSDs are very fast, so you have very fast read or write, and in simple English it will translate to very fast boot. So when you start your laptop from say a fresh start, it will boot very quickly. If you are suspending or resuming your laptop, or if you are hibernating and waking up your laptop, it will be very quick, and so you won't be sitting there waiting for Windows to boot up, and that's really important. So the 512 is a very generous amount, because it's way more than enough for you to run your operating system, also have photos and videos saved in your laptop, and all your lectures. Now in my opinion, what breaks or makes a laptop is the input mechanism. So the way you talk to your laptop is through the keyboard and through your trackpad, and if those two things are not good, your laptop, in my opinion, it's basically dead on arrival. So I will again go back to Apple, and Apple makes great laptops. They are expensive, but they are great laptops, except that the keyboards are complete piece of shit. So the butterfly keyboard mechanism, if you don't know what those are, these laptops tend to have very mushy keyboard and they get stuck and they start malfunctioning with like one speck of dust, and that completely breaks the MacBooks in my opinion, and I never recommend those laptops to anybody. So the keyboard in my opinion is very important, because that's 90% of the time when I'm interacting with the laptop, I'm typing and I need a fantastic keyboard. So luckily for us, this particular laptop has a very good keyboard. You get fantastic tactile support. It's not a mushy keyboard where you press it and you're not even sure whether it pressed or not. You will get a good response, and in addition you are getting a very nice trackpad. The trackpad is fully multi-touch. It supports all the multi-touch gestures which you expect with Windows 10, and it has the Windows precision drivers. Performance of both the keyboard and trackpad in my opinion was awesome. What I also liked was that the trackpad has a built-in fingerprint scanner. That's really nice, because you don't have to type your password every time you want to log in. You just put your thumb and you log in fingerprint scanner just like you use it on your phones. And this is something which honestly I think in 2019 every laptop should have this fingerprint scanner. Really, I mean passwords are obsolete now, so fingerprint scanner, biometric scanners, these are really awesome things, and I'm very happy that Acer has brought it in this 2-in-1 laptop. Finally, the laptop also has a webcam, an HD webcam. It's 720p resolution, so nothing spectacular, but it's good enough for video chat. One nice thing is that it supports HDR mode, so it has a good dynamic range. So overall, here is what I will say in summary. This is a fantastic laptop for students, for casual users, for home users, and if you are interested, I will throw a link in the description. You can check it out. The laptop is selling for around $800. It's little under $800, $799 or something. It's a little more expensive than the other laptops that I have reviewed on this channel, but I think for $200 more, I think you are getting a very, very good deal. It's a 2-in-1 laptop. It's a tablet mode, it has tent mode, it has display mode, and it has your traditional laptop mode. So for the students, this is going to be fantastic. This will become your one device you carry to your classrooms. You can type your lectures, you can write equations using this active stylus, you can draw diagrams, and you can also, once you are done with your classes, you can watch your videos, YouTube, Netflix, you can even play casual games. I think this laptop is something which, if you make an investment right now, you know, for the next 3-4 years you can keep using it. And by the way, the build quality is also very good, so that's another thing. This is not those kind of cheap Acer laptop which break apart in 6 months, because Acer as a company, it's a little interesting. They make some really cheap Chromebooks and some of these really cheap Windows laptops, and those laptops are basically piece of shit because you buy them and they crap out in 6 months. But this one is a more premium configuration, and the build quality is also good. If you spend $800, you can expect to use it. If you buy it in freshman year, you can expect to use it until your senior year, which is really what I would want, right, if I'm buying a laptop for my kid. So overall, very good laptop. I'm very happy with this laptop, and I will recommend this laptop without any reservation. And there is a link in the description below. Check it out. Okay guys, so I think that's all for today. Let me know if you liked this review, and if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.